People are freaking out because Workhorse shares dropped a total of nearly 15% yesterday. After all, if Workhorse is expected to be awarded the USPS NGDV contract any day now, why in the world would we be seeing such a big drop in share price? Could this price action be signaling something? Something serious, like perhaps that Workhorse isn't going to be awarded the USPS Next Generation Delivery Vehicle contract after all? This seems to be the question on everyone's mind right now. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why we saw such an outrageous drop in Workhorse share price and exactly what you need to do about it. And we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your wealth through investing and trading stocks in the market, make sure you start right now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss a thing. I'll see you in the video. Let's go. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm extremely excited to have all of you here with me today for another Workhorse video. So a lot of you reached out to me yesterday with some concerns regarding your Workhorse shares. So as I promised, this video will help you make sense of the entire situation, but more importantly, it'll help you be prepared for when the market goes against you like it did yesterday. So specifically, what I'm going to do is show you some simple ways to hedge and benefit from when a stock actually goes against you, or from when your position goes against you. And I think that you guys will find this video to be extremely informative and helpful. And for those of you that are new to trading and investing, I think that it'll open your eyes to a whole new way of trading and investing, and it will change the way that you do those things forever. I would like to ask that you guys give me an early thumbs up to help support the channel. It helps more than you could ever imagine, and these videos are very time consuming, and by you smashing that like button, it really keeps me going and motivates me to make more videos just like this one. So the first thing that I would like to mention is that Workhorse sold off a little harder than the rest of the market. And I know a lot of you are very worried about this sell-off, and some of you that are just beginning to trade or invest, or that haven't been doing it for very long, you guys aren't too familiar with what to be looking for and may have assumed that Workhorse was selling off without the influence of the broader market. So my response to everyone yesterday was that you shouldn't be worried about the drop or the drop in share price, and that the sell-off was not unique to Workhorse or did not happen as a result of anything related to Workhorse. I did tell everyone that Workhorse was dropping as a result of the broader market sell-off. So part of this is true, but I was able to find some information which I believe to be the catalyst behind the Workhorse sell-off being more aggressive than that of the broader market. So this isn't necessarily bad. It just means that it was time for a pullback on these stocks. You have to realize that there isn't a single stock that's going to go up in a straight line and never come down. And if you guys find a stock like that, let me know, because I'm going to buy as much as I possibly can of it. I'll put every single dollar, every single penny that I own into it. But normal stocks, they go up and down. So this is common, it's normal, it's just what happens in the stock market, and it is what should be expected when you are investing or trading stocks. You guys have to understand that all the EV stocks have literally made massive gains this year. I mean, for example, just Workhorse alone is still up over 600% for the year. Now, I don't have the exact numbers on the entire EV sector together, but I do know that it's been insane. Like anything that's been in any way related to electric vehicles has absolutely just gone nuts and blown up. So what I believe to be behind this aggressive selling, or what caused it, is a piece of information that I found in an SEC filing. Now, I will go into this information shortly, but first, allow me to point out that the entire EV sector appears to be selling off, and selling off in a more aggressive manner than the broader market. So much so that there's even rumors going around that we're in a big, EV bubble that's going to burst at any time now. And this all comes from people's fears. Anytime you've got anything that runs up this much, people get scared. They want to take profits. So it's all normal to get a pullback on this, but you got to look at where we're at. You got to look at the big picture. Where are we at compared to where we were at, or where we started at? And right now with Workhorse, we're still up 600%. That's a lot. And to put it into perspective for you guys, 10% gains in a year is a lot. That's considered good. So just think about it. 600% gains in 1 year. That pullback was inevitable. People have got to take profits. And that being said, don't dwell on the EV sell-off, and the same should be applied to each individual stock that you're trading or invested in. If there isn't an obvious reason or explanation, then look outside the box for your answer. What you don't want to do is begin to speculate, as this will likely lead to you making a bad decision and ultimately result in you losing some money. An example of this would be assuming that Workhorse got cut out of the USPS contract due to the sell-off, as I saw several people do yesterday. Now, to be fair, once you guys have more experience and know what it is that you're looking for, yes, there will be situations where we can rely on heavy buying or selling to speculate on some occurrence taking place in the market. But for now, I would suggest that you keep it simple and stick to the basics. Now, I mentioned earlier that I found some news related specifically to Workhorse regarding the aggressive sell-off, and I haven't forgotten to go over that. But let's very quickly run through what is going on right now that's causing the broader market sell-off, and then we'll jump on this Workhorse news. Here's what you need to know about what's going on in the stock market right now. So last Friday and then this Monday, we triggered the down Friday, down Monday combination. The combination of a down Friday followed by a down Monday has been a rather consistently ominous warning, but they've also occurred at significant inflection points such as interim tops and bottoms. One thing that we do know for sure is that this signals a lot of volatility, as we can clearly see in the market right now. Stocks sank but paired losses in the last stretch of trading during the regular session. Still, the three major indices extended the past few weeks worth of declines, as concerns over stagnating virus case improvement stoked fears of more lockdowns, and as political uncertainty nudged investors away from risk assets. The Dow fell more than 500 points, which translates into about 1.8%, adding to a cumulative more than 350 point slide in the index from Thursday to Friday of last week. The Dow was off by as many as 942 points, which is 3.4%, at its worst point during the session. The S&P 500 dropped 1.2%, and at session lows was down about 9.8% from its recent closing high from September 2nd to come within striking distance of falling into a correction. And a correction is basically defined as a drop of at least 10% from a recent high. The index logged a 4-session losing streak, or its longest since February. So here's what analysts have to say, and this is Oppenheimer. So far, the market has overshot our expectations for a 4% to 6% haircut from recent highs on near-term extended valuations, as well as economic and COVID-19 risks. That said, the declines through last Friday are not all that surprising. So September is historically pretty much a tough month for stocks. And the S&P 500 had delivered a massive rally, rising 60% from the lows on March 23rd through September 2nd. And markets will overshoot the upside just like they overshoot the downside. So pretty much we have to assume that everything that happens in the market is an overreaction. So if you see a stock going too high too fast, expect it to come down. Not saying that it won't go back up, but it's gonna have to come down before it goes back up. Then same thing goes for the opposite. If you see some bad news on a stock, and you've probably seen this a lot, I know I have, and it happens all the time. You see some bad news on a stock, it just shoots down, and then all of a sudden it gets bought up again. Which is why I'm sure you've seen stocks that are really crappy and receive some bad news, and they sell off, and then they end up getting bought up again. You'll see this pattern over and over in the stock market if you just pay attention. But now, let's talk about something interesting, like the banks and how they're involved in money laundering and fraud, or they have been over the last 10 years. So this is another piece of news that made the banks kind of sell off, which is going to have an overall effect on the market. And for some more disturbing news, the reopening stocks basically renewed their declines. Now, if you don't know what a reopening stock is, these are the stocks that are poised to basically benefit whenever the American economy opens back up. So they renewed their declines over fears of the virus cases both in the US and abroad, which led to jitters over a second wave of the pandemic and more business reclosures. And the virus deaths in the US so far have neared 200,000 new cases and risen significantly in states like Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nebraska, and North Dakota just over the last week. We got the former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb, who told CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday that he thinks we have at least one more cycle with this virus heading into the fall and winter. Then the European countries such as France and Germany have seen a significant increase in their daily cases, and the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, warned last week that a very serious situation is unfolding in Europe over the virus. Now, think about that for just a second. Think about how all this started last time. And if we see the same thing happen again, that's definitely going to cause trouble for the stock market. So just keep that in mind. And this is where you want to start thinking about hedging your positions or setting yourself up in a way to where you're going to profit no matter what happens. And lucky for you, I'm here to show you how to do that today. Now, for one of the most important parts of today's video, it's time for me to keep my promise to you guys. Now, I told you earlier in this video that I found something in Workhorse's SEC filings, which I believe is responsible for the more aggressive sell-off that's going on with Workhorse stock right now. But do keep in mind that basically the entire EV sector is also selling off, and that's normal. It's just people taking profits. Also, recall that September is pretty much a bad month for stocks, and along with everything else that I've reported to you guys today, you can expect the rest of this month to play out with a lot of volatility. So let's get on track real quick. Essentially what you're looking at here is a notice of an annual meeting of shareholders to be held on September 21st, 2020, which was just a couple of days ago. And if you'll take a look at number 2, one of the reasons that this meeting is going on is to approve, for purposes of NASDAQ listing rule 5635D, the issuance of the maximum number of shares of our common stock issuable in connection with the potential future of a conversion of the note issued pursuant to the securities purchase agreement dated June 30th, 2020 by and between the company and HT Investments, MA LLC, and B, delivery of shares of common stock in lieu of cash payments of interest and principal on the note. Without going into a whole bunch of detail and, making this a long story, I'm going to keep it short and tell you that this basically is referring to share dilution. It's similar to what you would see in a stock offering or a share offering, where new shares are introduced and it lowers the value of each share because more shares are now added to the float. Now, this isn't the exact situation that's going on here, but it'll have the same effect. The shares are being diluted just a little bit, and that's perfectly okay. I mean, companies do this all the time. And if you've seen if you've seen a share offering before, which again is not the same thing as this, then you're probably pretty familiar with what happens after the share offering is closed. Basically, the stock goes back up, it recovers. So we will see recovery here from that angle of things, from the actual, from this number 2 that's going on. But we still have to keep in mind that there are other factors that are affecting the stock price here. And those factors, some of them are pretty serious. So we just have to kind of wait and see how all that plays out, and whether this whole sell-off that we've seen is going to turn into something more serious, or whether it's going to turn back around and the market continues on its bullish route. So all these factors is what we're going to have to keep in mind as traders in order to remain successful in the market and not lose, money. So anyhow, that's all I wanted to say. I'm done with this topic, and now I'm gonna keep my second promise, which is to show you how to pretty much stay safe in these volatile conditions. Now, originally I was gonna do that in this video, but I decided to prepare that in a separate video, which is exactly what I've done. So what I will do is link that on my end screen. So you're actually going to see the thumbnail for that video pop up at the end of this video. Go ahead and click on it, and it'll take you directly to that video. So you guys enjoy. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You've made it to the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, I ask that you help this channel out by smashing that like button, as it motivates me to keep making videos just like this one every single day. If you're not a subscriber, you should consider subscribing, as I publish valuable content like this daily. You can do so from your screen right now, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can click on the video that you'd like to see on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.